So you just mentioned that this sort of conscious, deliberate evolution by design, which would take along our intelligence to our descendants, which we would become eventually ourselves. And we've been talking before that about concepts such as a technological singularity, the Methuselarity, the Energularity. Let me ask you this. Does it all add up to something? Is there a kind of a teleological direction towards that kind of evolution that we're describing here? I mean, some people, for example, claim that the ultimate end would be the universe waking up and the sort of a conglomeration of this giant computronium. Is that how you see the really far off future, or is that not a possibility in your mind?
Well, those are actually some of the possibilities of the future. And I'm not able to see that far away. Already looking into the singularity takes a lot of courage. But I think that something like a global brain will evolve, a global brain, and then we will maybe, as you said, and as Ray Kurzweil has written, the universe will wake up. This is very possible. This is very probable. And we are merging ourselves not only with our technology, but with other humans. That is why I'm not so worried about all these privacy concerns, because we are integrating more and more with other humans continuously. And I actually like to make a comparison with the different cells of our body. The different cells of our body were separate once upon a time, a long, long time ago, billions of years ago, when all life forms were unicellular, only single cells. And then they got together and they created big organisms like us. Well, in the future, I think that we will create a super mega global brain across the universe. Something really incredible, beautiful.
Professor Kevin Warwick from the University of Reading, who is often called the first cyborg, for example, said that he and we would become the Borg eventually.
Yes, and I know him very much, and I like that. But let me tell you also a famous quote of one of my professors at MIT, who is also one of the fathers of artificial intelligence, Marvin Minsky. Marvin Minsky is very famous because he was asked if robots will inherit the planet, and he said, yes, but we will be them. They will be us. So again, this is the concept we are merging with our technology. That is why I talk about humans, transhumans, posthumans, cyborgs, robots, and many other things we cannot even dream of in the virtual worlds.
That's fascinating, Jose. Unfortunately, we're approaching the end of our interview. So before I ask you the very last question that I usually ask all my guests, let me ask you this. Where can our viewers and listeners go and find more information about you and your work and follow what you do?
Well, I have a web page just about me and some of the books I have written, but also I am very active in the Millennium Project. And let me actually talk about that briefly, because we publish every year a book which is called The State of the Future. And in this book, we talk about all the big trends that are happening in 15 areas, from energy to water, from democracy to technology. So I am very active on that, and I work on developing scenarios for the future of Latin America and the future of the world. So this is a good way to see some of my work also, which I highly recommend to everybody, including my books in Amazon.com.
That's fantastic. And then the last question that I always ask of my guests is this. Do you have a single message or the most important thing that you would like our viewers and listeners to take away from this interview today with you?
Yes, the future is beautiful. It is really incredible. We are going to see things we could never even dream of. Beautiful, incredible things. For that, we need a lot of energy. So reaching the Energularity is important. But we have to be optimistic. And this is the message I want to finish with. We have to be optimistic because this has even psychological considerations. And let me give you the example of the glass. Is this glass half full or half empty? And you know, it is very important to think that it is half full because it impacts the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look into the future. So the world is just half full. It is beginning to become fuller and more beautiful.
Wow, that's very well said. Thank you very much, Jose, for taking your time and being with us today on Singularity One-on-One.
For a great future full of energy.
Thank you.